Like, you know you're right. You know what happened. You know what exactly happened. You know what it is that they told you. You even have a point. You have even have proof to back up your point. But then the argument ends. Somehow, nobody feels better. Everybody lives worse off than the king. So, I want to ask you something. What if, what if winning an argument is costing you your relationship? Don't get me wrong. This is not me saying you should agree to being wrong so that there'll be peace in the relationship. And this is not me saying you shouldn't talk about the things hurting you, to your partner, whoever it is. Because actually, sometimes, let me recap, I'm saying sometimes you know you are right. Sometimes you're actually right. And you can actually remember what happened exactly. You can actually remember the exact words that they used on you. And you have enough evidence to prove whatever it is that happened to back up your point. But when this argument ends, neither of you feels better. Each of us, and nobody lives better than we end up living worse off than we came. So, like I said, I'm not here to tell you not to talk about those, not to. I'm not here to tell you to agree on doing something wrong, which you know, obviously, know you didn't do. But I'm here to ask something a bit harder. Is it possible that you are right about what happened and still be wrong about the way you're going about it? Hmm? Something happened quite all right. Is it possible that the way we go about handling it is what is wrong when we are trying to confront a situation or when we are trying to present our points? Could that be the case? Because when people from experience, at least by the grace of God, have have been in a committed relationship for over half a decade. So I'm as experienced in relationship matters and arguments in relationship as people who would have been in relationship for 20 years. That I am still a bit young in my relationship does not excuse or does not belittle whatever it is that I've experienced in that relationship. And one thing, oh, thank you so much. Welcome, thank you. So I'm asking, is it possible that um you can be right about what happened in a relationship and still be wrong about how you go about handling it? Because sometimes you know what happened, you know that you are right, and you know what happened, you know exactly what it is they told you. You even have evidence to back them up. But then after the argument, somehow nobody feels better. So I'm asking, is it so the question I'm asking this evening is it possible that we can still be right, and but the method with which we go handling these issues are wrong? And I also want to ask, what if I also asked earlier that what if you're winning that argument is costing you your relationship? So, like I was saying, from my experience as a married woman who has been committed to, who is in a committed relationship for over half a decade, and then from my also my experience and from my training as an emotional communication specialist, certified in emotional intelligence, we've come to know that when people stand their ground, that they are right about an what they are actually trying to communicate, the emotional language they are trying to communicate behind it is that I don't want you to misunderstand me. And no, I do not want to be seen as a bad person. And then the general one is no, they don't want to admit to anything so that should in case something happens in the future, you won't use it against them. The general saying, do not say anything, because whatever you say in the court of law will be used, whatever you say will be used against you in the court of law. The lawyers know that too. But those are the emotional language people tell us or that we speak unknowingly when we are trying to stand our ground that we are right in a conversation. But whereas my concern this evening is that What if you're winning that argument in that relationship, be it a marital relationship or in your friend relationship? So I texted someone yesterday. Hi, Drifting. Good evening. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Conversation with Ini. So this evening we're talking about being right and being understood and trying to win an argument. My point is, are you trying to win an argument, or you want to be understood, or you want to repair your relationship or salvage your relationship? Would you rather be right or and win the argument at the detriment of your relationship? That is what we're talking about today, because this takes us back to the topic we had last week. Last week or the other week, and if you haven't seen that video, I think you should watch it. There's a word of wisdom, one or two wisdom to learn from them. We actually asked a question: when we see a relationship that's thriving, that, oh, we are gushing over this relationship, none of them, they seem to be so respectful towards each other, they never argue, everything seems to go lovey-dovey. Is it because there's fear, or is because one person has learned over time that whenever I speak up or whenever I say something, there's always consequence? So is it out of, most times, those relationships that look so lovey-dovey, like as though they are free of fights, arguments, is because over time one person has learned that if I talk now, there will be consequence. Is that we leave, or I'll get beaten, or there shall be a form of consequence. So they've learned to mute their opinion so that they will not have to face consequence. And that is why most relationship is looking healthy. In fact, if you are in a relationship and there's no argument, I doubt how healthy that relationship is. But that is not the point. So my point now this evening is, even as we are encouraging you to communicate, to have those arguments, at what point do we stop to argue for the sake of saving this relationship? That is my question. So, Drifting, good evening. Edge Money 2P, good evening. Welcome to Conversation with Ini. Every other person joining, welcome to Conversation with Ini. Please, if you haven't subscribed, do me well to subscribe. And please, if you understand or you can relate with whatever it is that we are talking about this evening, you can indicate with an I in the comments. And Drifting, I'm laying emphasis on you. Thank you for returning. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for making it a day with me again. I do really appreciate it. So this evening, let's talk about two things that we confuse in relationship: being understood and then being right. At what point do we stop insisting on our rights just so there will be peace? Because sometimes we are so fixated on, we are so committed to trying to explain what happened, and we completely miss out on what happened to the person, the experience. Let's take, for instance, you are shouting on me, and then the other person goes, I'm not shouting on you. Say, yes, you were shouting on me. And then the other person says, no, I wasn't shouting on you. I was just only being loud. Thank you. Thank you for your reaction. So the other person says, I was only being loud. Now, they've left the real issue on ground and they're talking about volume. Probably the other person might be saying, you were shouting on me because maybe the problem is he or she felt intimidated by the way you spoke to him or her. Now, two different things. They left the issue on ground, the feeling intimidated, and they started arguing about, thank you, and they started arguing about volume. So when you know that you're right in a relationship or in an argument, you know that you are right and you're trying to make your point, but in trying to make your point, the situation seems to be getting worse by the minute, by the hour. What do you do? I would like to actually know your so Drifting. Let's take, for instance, now both of us have an argument. I'm trying to tell you the odds that you've caused me, and then maybe something happened, and I'm actually right, but I'm trying to tell you that I'm right. But in the course of you, or you are trying to tell me that you're right, but in the course of you trying to tell me that you're right, you see that we are not making any progress. We are not moving forward. Like, the situation is getting worse. What do you do? What do you encourage people to do? What do you do in your relationship? It doesn't necessarily have to be a marital relationship. It could be in a civil relationship, it could be in a friendship relationship, it could even be your colleague at work. What do you do? Maybe I welcome Christiana. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining conversation with Ini. Like we said, we're talking about at what point do we leave being right in order to salvage our relationship. You know that you're right. You can remember what happened exactly in that, what happened exactly. You can remember whatever it is that they said to you. And you have evidence, you have proof to back up your points. But then after this argument, none of us is living feeling better. None of us is feeling good. Like the argument left the both of us drained than we even started. At what point? My question is, will you rather win the argument at the detriment of your relationship? Don't you think that winning an argument is, and I would like you to share your opinion. Have you experienced this? Say yes in the comment section. And have you been the one holding on to your right? You can also say yes. And if you haven't, say no. But if you relate to whatever it is that you're saying right now, hit the like button. That is how you show me that you agree, or you comment yes in the comments, so that we can move forward. Jason, you've been sending me ask things. So I asked the question because you and I are about to get into a relationship. The kind of relationship that we're about to get to, we don't know yet. So when we actually have a misunderstanding and I'm trying to hold on to my being right, would you rather exercise your being right over that relationship? Would you rather win an argument instead of salvaging your relationship? That's the summary of what we are talking about tonight, because it happens. Argument happens. We have, as a healthy relationship is not one void of arguments. But what happens? At what point are we mature enough to know this is on the pass? Be careful. If I not call it a quit here or suspend a little, we might end up hurting ourselves, or if we not even get any relationship to argue over. That is what we're saying. So let me give us a bit, like some few minutes to comment either yes or no, and then we will go. I'm trying to go through comments to see what. So I can do anything to make you feel special because you are special, really special. Oh, so you can do anything to make me feel special, really special, even when I am winning the argument. Like you would rather I win the argument. Is that what you're saying? Instead of losing the relationship. Okay. Once I'm able to make my point, I'd rather suspend the argument for peace to reign. Okay. You will suspend the argument to be revisited or never to be revisited, because sometimes some people keep quiet even when they are being hurt in a relationship just for the sake of peace to reign. That isn't what I'm talking about. Like if you've been following us like in the previous lives that we've had, I am a big advocate of you people fighting it out until you, not fighting it out in the sense that, but communicating, finding a way to, oh yes, to be revisited when the mood is right. I subscribe to that too. That is my but I subscribe to that. That's what I want to say. So, but let's be fair. Sometimes when some people say, let's just leave it, let's just leave this discourse, it's because they are trying to dodge a difficult conversation. They do not want to take responsibility. So peace isn't automatically healthy either, because maybe he did something to me and I want to confront it. It's like, oh please, because I don't want problem, let's just leave it so that there won't be issue. No, with me, we will trash it out. But then in trashing it out, I'm more concerned about when we should, like Christina said, like when we should pend it and revisit. Should we pend it and revisit it again, or should I hold on to my being right and let the relationship scatter if it wants to scatter? So another angle I'm actually trying to look at is this. Sometimes the problem isn't that they're not communicating in a relationship. We've been talking about communication in the previous this thing. Maybe the problem is we don't even know when this is the best way I can say it. When we are having and when we are in an heated argument, we are trying to make our point known. Like we are insisting on our rights. With which intent are we doing that? Because sometimes communicating is not our problem. That's what I want to say. But it's just that sometimes we don't even know what we are fighting for. When you are fighting, when you are insisting on your ground, are you fighting to win the argument? Are you arguing so that they will accept that you are right? Are you arguing to make them feel whatever it is that they've put you through, or you are arguing you are insisting on your rights because you want to repair the relationship and you want solution? Because, excuse me, a lot of us do not even know what we are fighting for. You are communicating, even you yourself that you go about communicating, you are not clear. You don't even know what it is that you want. And that's why most conversations or most arguments never end, because you are just arguing. You don't have any destination which you are trying to arrive to. You don't even have a destination you are trying to arrive at. When destination is not known, we'll be roaming. So we'll keep roaming on, we'll keep repeating the same issue, we'll keep repeating the same issue because there's no end. We don't have a goal. So when you are arguing, when you are standing your ground, again, let me recap. Is it because you want peace? You want to salvage that relationship? Is it because you want them to admit that, oh, you are right? Because in most cases, they will never agree that we are right. In some cases, I might not even agree with you that you are right, just to prepare you, even though I know that I might be wrong. It's in our human nature to be like that. So if you go into an argument, the point I'm trying to make is go into that argument with a set goal in mind. Oh, this is what I want to achieve with this discourse, so that you know when to call it a quit. You know why? Because if we don't know what we want to achieve with our arguments, we will not know when to stop. We will not know when to choose the relationship over the issue that we are fighting for. Just like the other person was saying, you are shouting on me. The other person is saying, no, I'm not shouting on you. I was just speaking loudly. Whereas the problem is that other person felt intimidated with the way the other person spoke to him or her. So they left the feeling of intimidation and they were now arguing over volume. That is what most of us do in our relationship. Are we together? Please, let me know where you're joining from, and if you agree with my thoughts, please comment yes in the section. Have you felt like that? And sometimes it used to baffle me, because previously I would like to, even though I might not be 100% right, but I would like to state that sometimes we learn more when we are inside a situation than just having head knowledge. What do I mean? The things I've learned in my years of being in a committed relationship, marriage, over the years, I think if I were to be single, I wouldn't have learned them. I wouldn't have, because really God has helped me get better. Like the other day, I was telling one of my mommy in church when she called and she was checking up on us and she was asking me a question. And I'm like, mommy, I'm actually better. Mommy, the person that you know before, I'm surprised the rate at which marriage has changed me is even alarming to me myself. So sometimes you learn in the process. So I have enough evidence, not negative evidence though, because by the grace of God, I am in a healthy relationship. I am in a healthy situation. But that does not mean that we do not argue. That does not mean that I am free to hear my opinion. And I can challenge, not like challenge in the sense, but I can question some things without fearing consequences. So maybe by those definition, I can say, oh, by the grace of God, I have a healthy one. But most people's relationship aren't like that. And when I'm saying I'm in a healthy relationship, at what point do I now call it like, oh babe, I think you don't cross a boundary? Because before me, I might insist on my right. If everyone wants to fall, let everyone fall. I will insist on that right. But the wisdom I'm talking about now is wisdom I've gained over time. It is working for me. It's not like I'm perfect 100% of the time. I still have my flaws. I still have moments that my husband will say, oh yeah, now. And then when he now say that, oh yeah, now, the oh yeah, now will now be like a check to me. But I have enough experience during these years to share with you. And I also have enough experience to know that no relationship is perfect. So if your relationship is perfect, it's just a ticking bomb. It will like, I'm not saying we cannot have perfect relationship. Okay. 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 I'm not saying we cannot have a perfect relationship. That's not the perfect in the sense that you people never argue. Your partner cannot question your, let's say, your whereabouts, your choice, your decision. You never go back and forth. Like, you cannot be the same. We are two different entities that came together to be one. The nature of my husband's nature is quite different from my own nature. So expecting us to think alike, to reason alike, to always agree on the same subject is being delusional. Like, we are not being truthful to ourselves. Even if let me even say, even if we attain same level of education or we are exposed to same thing, our backgrounds are not the same. The way we are brought up are not the same. So basic things as brushing, how do we brush, when do we brush, can cause arguments in a relationship. And I want to hold on to my ground that, oh, because it is what I know, it is what I've grown up, it is what the thing I've grown up with. So I might hold my ground that whatever it is I'm saying is right. So it doesn't mean that I'm not saying that what you should agree that you are wrong. I'm only saying, at what point do we suspect our being right for peace to reign, so that we'll come back to it? Do you subscribe that we should come back, or do you subscribe that, oh, I beg, to L, I don't know, let me not use the language that YouTube will ban me, though. Do you suspend it, or you still go ahead? And even when we are trying to check who is right and who is not right, when we finally get who is right, what do we even do with that information? Do you want me to agree that you are right so that, oh, you feel justified? Do you want me to agree that you are right so that we will know that we are on the same page? Or do you want me to know that you are right so that tomorrow you can use it against me? Hmm? So I did not intend to make this live longer. I just wanted to come and have a chit chat and go, because it's Sunday. A lot of us, I don't know, weekend we are supposed to be resting, but most of us have a lot of activities that will carry on Tuesday, and tomorrow is work day, so I wouldn't want to hold us any longer than expected. So, but let me share the things I've learned to do over time. Do not forget that I say the emotions behind people holding on to their rights, insisting that their right is because, one, they don't want to be understood. They don't want us. I don't want to be seen as a bad person, and I don't want to agree to anything you are saying, so that tomorrow you will not use it against me. That is a summary of what we've been saying. So this is what I learned. If, like someone said, Christiana said that when the argument is becoming heated, we should suspend it and revisit it again. Yeah. Now I'm trying to organize my thoughts so I don't forget most of the things I wanted to say. If you have something to say, suspending whatever it is that you want to say does not mean you should admit to being wrong. And if you know you are right, you don't have to pretend to be wrong just so there's peace. You get? We are only looking for a healthy way to communicate our points. So if the situation is getting heated, first, take a break. I'm learning sometimes I'll just keep quiet. I'll keep quiet, not because in my mind, trust me, I still have a lot of things to say. But if my keeping quiet in that moment will give both of us a few minutes of peace, yes, exercise quietness that time. Sometimes I don't leave that room, or sometimes I might just go for my own work. Let all of us breathe. Let both of us inhale fresh air. Let us be breathing us. And I'll tell you, I'm not done. So when you say, "Oh, I think we are drifting out from the point of conversation here," we are already drifting from what we are arguing over. So I'll revisit it. Now, while I'm revisiting it, two, the second point I'm trying to make is check your intent. Like we said, why do you want to win this argument? Why did you bring this argument up in the first place? If it is really, really an important discourse that has to be held again, you go back to it, revisit it. But if it is not a discourse that's that important, once you've heard your opinion and you've been heard, let it go. And I trust that you are relating with an adult, even though most adults can be funny. Like some people really enjoy chaos. So this one I'm talking to people who are healthy and who are normal, who are balanced. So you leave it, you excuse yourself, you check your intent, then you revisit the issue. By the grace of God, by that time, tempers would have cooled, and the steamed air would have relaxed a bit. So I hope this is not me saying that tomorrow when you go to the office, because I'm saying you should just relax a bit and let peace reign, that you now go and admit to something you did not do tomorrow. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying sometimes maturity is us knowing when to save the relationship and when to hold her peace. Because we do see arguments in a relationship. Yes, it is very normal. It will come. But how do we go about handling them? And again, I'm asking, would you rather be right? Would you rather win the argument and then lose your relationship? Or you appreciate this, you value this relationship to give it some minutes of rest, just so you don't escalate things and peace returns. Please, if you enjoyed this conversation, do subscribe, hit the like button, and please do make it a day with us tomorrow. We come live every evening, 9 p.m. West African time. Maybe on rare occasions we'll come live by 10. Maybe, probably I got home late or I didn't network or something happened, and so might come up by 10 p.m. West African time. Aside that, we discuss the behaviors we see every day play in our relationship, in our workplace, in our interaction with human beings, and then we dissect the emotions behind them, because we are emotional beings, and every action everybody acts towards you, it is their emotions playing out. If we know how to decode a bit the emotions people are saying without them even having to say a word, we will know how to relate with them, we will know how to respond to them, and we will know if we even want to keep that relationship. So do have a good night of rest, and thank you for your time. For returning viewers, thank you. For those who just joined us for the first time, I want to say thank you. This is Conversation with Ini, and it's been fun over time. From where we are coming from to where we are now, I say you guys are the real VIP. So let's make it a date tomorrow. See you same time, same channel. To have a good night's rest. Bye. Thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it. So every time you see me sweat like this, it's because I don't want noise and I don't want interaction, because I'm not using the mic. If I use mic, you might not enjoy the sound on this live until you get better. So do have a good night rest. Bye-bye. I'm sweating. I need to go. There's someone to give a shout out to. Drifting. Do have a good night. LG Money, do have a good night. Honey 247, do have a good night. And to every other person that joined us live, do have a good night. And may your week be blessed. May your relationship flourish. And may God give us intelligence to know how to relate with people so our lives will become better and easier. Bye bye.